Hey, this is Nate Ulrich from the Akron Beacon Journal with Marla Ridenour and Steve Doerschuk here at First Energy Stadium. The Browns lost 20 to 13 to the defending NFC champion Los Angeles Rams on Sunday Night Football. It's pretty early in the morning here, and we are just trying to figure out what the hell happened at the end of that game. Guys, Freddie Kitchens has taken a lot of heat. George sent out our video extraordinaire, George Thomas sent out a question about what people want to talk about, and people are asking, is it too soon to start the fire Freddie talk, or they're just flat out saying, how do we get him fired? Where do you guys come down on Freddie Kitchens and how this night shook out? Who wants to go?
I can take it. I personally think Nate and Marla was ludicrous to even talk about firing Freddie at this point. I mean, it's fair to debate or a future reference whether you wanted to hire a guy with Freddie's credentials in the first place. But now that you're down that road, I think you absolutely have to stay on that road. One thing that I was looking at in the offseason, just based on some of my personal context, was the candidacy of Josh McDaniels as a head coach, and whether John Dorsey seriously entertained Josh as an option. I know for a fact that Josh was very interested, and it crosses my mind that a guy like Josh was ultra organized and very experienced, and really a good play caller. He's called Super Bowl games time and again. Would have been the kind of guy who maybe you would like in that situation. Whether you want the personality of a Josh McDaniels, well, John didn't. Freddie's personality is right, but his play calling and his organization is wrong so far.
I do think it's too soon, but I also think it's right to question. I mean, Freddie fell on his sword. He said he should have called at least one run on the final possession down there on the goal line. He took the blame for the draw, said it was a bad call. That Nick Chubb only got 2 yards on 4th and 9. He says he has to be better. I mean, he was very, very adamant that this was basically his fault. Um, I don't know what more you want him to say. I mean, I know you want him to call better plays, but I do think they are all growing together. I mean, he said several people have mentioned that you can't expect them to pick up where they left off at the end of last year. They were on a roll and they gained momentum leading into the final 8 games, and they're nowhere near that now.
I do want to give credit to Steve Wilkes though, because I thought the defense played really well, overachieved, especially because the entire secondary is out with injuries. The entire starting secondary is out with injuries. 8 total starters, if you include number 3 receiver Rashard Higgins. 8 total starters were inactive, plus 2 guys who went on IR recently, David Njoku and Christian Kirksey. But the defense, like I said, really played well, and the Browns won the turnover battle 3-1, and that's like the recipe that they needed to have a shot at pulling off this upset, but couldn't pull it all together. Steve, I know you were looking at a lot of the guys who were filling in for the injured guys I'm alluding to. You have some takeaways off the top of your head in that regard?
Just a couple. I mean, there was a cast of thousands playing in place of the starters, but I agree with you completely that Wilkes did a fantastic job with a secondary that was without all four starters. But to John Dorsey's credit, maybe a little bit on defensive Freddie, who was more challenging on the offensive side with his replacements. All of the replacements in the defensive secondary are experienced NFL players, including the guy who made the interception at the end, Burris. Now, Baker Mayfield's quote was, he's been here 24 hours and he gets a big pick. He was actually here more than 24 hours. He was here for the whole camp and in the preseason. He got cut and picked up off waivers from Oakland. But Wilkes did, in fact, do a good job with a patchwork crew of four veteran defensive backs. On offense, Freddie was stuck with Damian Ratley, a sixth-round draft pick last year. He did a nice job, caught a couple of key passes, and was even the target on the final pass of the game. But Ratley is probably not going to be in the league long, if we're being honest about him. So he was challenged there, and he still has a right guard, Cush, who's not quite settled in yet. He has a right tackle who was a replacement for Spade. So I thought Freddie was more behind the 8 ball than Wilkes was.
Yeah, and you saw that Offensive line, yeah, it's not that great. So I mean, I think it really showed there with 6 and change left, and the Browns started at the 10, and they just needed to put together a touchdown drive. Um, and they went 3 and out. First down, there's a sack by Aaron Donald. Third down, there's a sack by Clay Matthews. It turns out they got another chance because of Justin Burris' pick off the Joe Schobert deflection. But really, they were kind of buried there by offensive line woes. Baker Mayfield taking sacks, just the weaknesses and flaws we've seen. Marlo, you wrote a really good story about Baker Mayfield and his sluggish start. Do you have any takeaways about Baker tonight and before we wrap up?
I do think he's feeling the heat from this offensive line that's not together. But what I thought was interesting is they were saying the same things after the game that they were saying on Wednesday. This team needs time. We need time to get together. Might take 6 weeks. I mean, we're all thinking we could pick right up where we left off. But I do think Baker, he does seem to be rushing a little bit, but I think that's all the anxiety from the offensive line this season.
Is he forcing it to Odell Beckham? In some instances, sure. I asked him specifically about the 4th down, and he said that basically Odell double covered. So it sounded like he wanted to go to Odell there, and maybe that was the initial plan, the first read. He starts getting pressured, and Baker said, basically, 4th down, you got to do something. That's how Ratley became the target on that. And then Odell said that he's doubled, all the time. I mean, it's something they have a lot to work with. I mean, obviously, it's kind of, you could debate a million different ways about this. You can say, obviously, that they are hurt by the time that they didn't have together in the preseason. Odell said, he said, in my opinion, preseason doesn't matter. He said that tonight. So I'm sure, I think each of us might have different views than he does on that. But I don't know. They've got to get it together still offensively because, again, 3-1 winning the turnover battle, but they didn't capitalize on it. You guys have anything else before we call it a night?
Yeah, Nate, and Marla, I should have got to this point first, but I think the whole problem with the team right now begins with Baker Mayfield. His gyroscope got whacked somewhere along the line. It's really a mystery. Where I'm looking at the spot right now where he could have hit the pass of the game to a wide open Jarvis Landry. He misses it. It changed the entire complexion of the late part of the game. And down on this end, then Mayfield, about a half an hour ago, Nate and Marla told us that he passed on the 3rd down, I think it was, in the back of the end zone to Demetrius Harris. He's kicking himself. He said he probably had Landry underneath. That's the gyroscope. It's not there, and I don't know where to go to get those fixed, but he needs to go fast.
Yeah, it's not just the time with Odell. It's probably haunting him, but you're right. Uncharacteristically inaccurate at times. Now you do see him put it on the money sometimes too, but it's just not as consistent as you're used to seeing. And then he's not seeing the play you're talking about, the Demetrius Harris incomplete pass in the back of the end zone.
Right, ready for the ball that could have been caught with a good throw. But it was still the wrong throw, maybe.
Yeah, he said reoccurring nightmares is what he thinks to have as a result. Anything else? All right, thanks, guys. We'll have plenty of stories on Ohio.com. We'll be up till like 4 or 5 a.m., so please read them.